Hi, I'm Danny with BuyRadarDetectors.com. I'm here today with Bob, President of Vail Corporation and Head Product Engineer. Bob is known online as the Vail Guy, and his product, Vail G5, is the perfect complement to any radar detector. It effectively reduces the range, the targeting range of police laser guns, and also works against IR cameras. Bob has logged hundreds of thousands of miles testing radar detectors, and I would consider him a radar detector expert. You've driven with many models that are available today, and today in this video we're going to get your opinion on the Cobra SPX 7800 BT. Bob, what do you think about this detector?
Well, frankly, Cobra has been the butt of some jokes over the years with some of their marketing and whatever. But be that as it may, I'm very open-minded to detectors, and when the detector's good, I acknowledge it. And
do you think it was a well-deserved reputation that they had?
Well,
I think turning it around, or do you think?
Yeah, I think they are. In fact, I think some of the ongoing things with Cobra. Years ago, the way they did their processing, they actually were the ones that caused a lot of other interference with the radar detector manufacturers.
Sure.
And that's really, I think, the legacy of the older models. Now, they have long not been doing it that way, but Cobras have, in those models,
they had a hard time getting away from that reputation.
Exactly, and the reality is that most of their new detectors, I mean, there have been some on the road for a long time, and so they continue, but by and large now, Cobra has done extremely good at not being a detector that interferes. So, and I just continue to see improvements in that respect. And, speaking about Cobra for a minute, Monomoy, who purchased Escort, also purchased Cobra, which is quite an interesting development because there has been some history between the two companies, and now that they're going to be effectively
under one roof,
under one roof, I expect to even see greater things from Cobra now, frankly. So I'm optimistic, and again, I think this detector is produced before that merger, and as it is, I'm pretty happy with it. I've driven with it, and I've driven pretty hardcore with it. So, and I'm not afraid to put miles and speed on this detector. I feel pretty confident with it too. So,
when you look at the feature list of this detector, it is extremely impressive. It ticks all the boxes, one might say. It's got the full color display. It has GPS built in. It connects to a smartphone app and provides warnings for red light, speed cameras, all that. How does it actually perform in the real world?
Let's touch on some of the things that you just talked about. Yeah. Cobra's got the best OLED display in the business, and they have had for years. And I'm going to fire this up. I don't know if you can see that, but
system ready.
The screen's fairly large, and given that it's large, you can actually display a lot more at one time than other detectors.
How do you like this display compared to the Escort Max or the Escort Passport?
Far better.
Really?
I mean, yeah,
even
absolutely.
in bright conditions?
Absolutely, it's fabulous. And I don't know how well you can see that. This thing is readily readable. And you can change multiple colors, same kind of thing, but you can actually do a multicolor display as you see here, so you can actually get like full color.
Sure.
So that's really nice. The other thing I like about this detector is, look at how small this is. This is the smallest radar detector I've ever seen. I mean, just to compare, I'm just picking any one out of the box. You can see the difference here. So it's very, very small and compact. Cobras, I have found historically, have always done very well on laser. In fact, I think that's been their best performance. And I've seen some very good things with this. KA performance is better. The off access is not as strong as the M4s from Escort, as you would expect. And similar to Whistler, same kind of thing. The X and K is de-emphasized to some extent. This detector also, actually like the Max, will occasionally false to KA when you're around the proximity of a K-band lane departure or collision avoidance system.
Sure. And
as a result of this, they actually offer three types of city mode. They call it a city X, XK, XK, and KA actually to reduce it. And I found when I have the XK, KA on, it does reduce that propensity for that type of thing. But I don't necessarily like dialing back when it comes to KA in particular, you know what I'm saying? So, but one thing I also noticed is and I just observed this detector is pretty quick. I could actually sense that this was a quicker detector, and so it's followed the line of, all stemming from band segmentation.
Yeah, that's actually impressive for mean, Cobra, I would consider a value detector for sure.
Sure.
Would you agree with
Price
that?
point, sure.
You're getting more features for less money, but perhaps performance is going to suffer compared to some of the higher priced models. So being a fast detector is a big plus for one in this price range.
Right. I think where you find that this detector doesn't do as well as the ultra premiums, that are quite a bit more, twice as much, so on, is the filtering probably is not as sophisticated. But overall, and again,
So sensitivity is fairly good,
On
but you're
K, I
going
think
to
it's
put up with more false alerts. Basically.
yeah, that's sort of the irony of some of these things, and Whistler to some extent does this too. The way they scan X and K, can tend to false more, even though it has less sensitivity. It's just because it's just the way it is, the way they look at it, the way they filter. But overall, as I say, I'm really very happy. I love the diminutive size. The display is fabulous. I find the menu programming a little bit complicated. It's I oftentimes push the wrong buttons, and you have to start over. That's a little bit of a pain, but overall, and I also should note, and Whistler does this as well, and Escort does not, and I'm disappointed. I wish they would. Is I'm going to unplug this for a moment.
Oh, the USB port on.
Right.
Plug.
So you get a USB port to power your smartphone. So I'm going to plug this puppy back in, and since we talked about smartphone, Cobra has, and they were actually first with it. They have the iRadar
app,
and that is a very mature program, I am finding. And look at this. I'm going to bring up my iPhone 6 here. And they were the first, really. They were with the R7 and
they
the R8.
They had the iRadar series, the iRad 100, which was the first smartphone integrating radar detector. And it was also a very tiny radar detector with no display. The entire point of the iRad 100 was to use your smartphone as the display. So it was a low-cost detector that all the display functionality and configuration was in the smartphone. They've kind of built on that with this SPX 7800 BT.
Right, exactly. Now you can see here, I turned on Bluetooth. Thank you for that advice. And then you can see iRadar identifies itself. I'm going to hit this button on my phone. It should pair. And they've paired it a lot easier. You know how sometimes you have to put in the PIN codes and stuff like that? But this will hopefully it'll just pair here. And once it's paired, there it is. Now it's showing connected. The device is here, and there it is. I'm going to allow it. You can see now the sucker. Now, interestingly enough, when the iPhone is working, the GPS, it'll actually give you the speed and it shows you have the Bluetooth connectivity, that you're in highway mode, and your speed and your what is it? Your compass potential. I'm not exactly sure what that one is, and then the battery. So now
it uses the GPS from your phone.
Right, and there's no point in necessarily having it in the phone if you have who doesn't have a smartphone anymore?
Right.
So, and here you have your iRadar. And you can make your changes very nice here. I'm looking away, pardon me, but I'm going to just make some changes here. I can auto mode up. See that?
Auto mute off.
I can
Smart power.
I can just change all of these settings.
Smart power.
And you said you had trouble with the menu.
Yeah.
You can avoid using the menu on the detector altogether if you have a smartphone.
Exactly. And you can change alert settings. You can change. Here we go. I'm going to turn off X-Band. I'm going to try.
X off.
See that?
X on. K. OK.
You can just go right down. It's got VG2, which I don't really, you don't really use.
No one's using that?
No, not radar detector sold. KU band, which you don't use in the States, but you have XKKA. POP, which we don't really use either. Safety alert, which is like the SWS. Low call voltage. One of the things that's really nice with this, and plus obviously you have your map, and it's free, and you can see all of the red light cameras and stuff like that in here. Really nice, very cool. And also it has a very interesting feature is when you power it off, it'll identify where the detector was. So if you're parking in a mall, like the Mall of America, that could be miles of, or Disney World or something, and your car, you don't know where it is.
It'll remind you where you parked.
Exactly.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature.
Nice.
So again, I find this, and the application is very stable. And I think it's a really nice setup. So when you look at what you're getting, I think you get a lot of value for your money, frankly. And it's earned my respect, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drive with it.
So it sounds like Cobra is turning it around. Thank you very much, Bob, for the review on the Cobra SPX 7800 BT. If you purchase a Cobra 7800 BT, be sure to pair it with Veil G5. Veil is the perfect complement to this radar detector. It effectively reduces the targeting range of police laser guns and gives you more time to react to a laser warning. So really, you need to pair any radar detector that you have with a product like Veil G5. If you have any questions about this product, check out our website at buyradaردetectors.com. If you want to see other videos like this one, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/buyradaردetectors. I'm Danny, and for Bob from Veil Corporation, thanks for watching.